Wingardium Leviosa.
Good evening, London. Well, it is a real honour to present this award in a year where the standard has been nothing short of exceptional.
This is insane that I'm doing this!
Forget the red carpet. Prince Harry never even reached the edge of it. On the 16th of February 2025, while directors, actors, and designers paraded into London's Royal Festival Hall, the man who once couldn't step outside a palace courtyard without triggering a global frenzy found himself 5,000 miles away, staring at a glowing phone screen and a single sentence that changed everything. Attendance declined at request of the BAFTA president.
British Academy of Film and Television Arts, you have been summoned to the Traitor's Turret. All right, but I'm not going to wear one of those drab cloaks, okay?
Those 6 words, politely relayed through an intermediary, carried more force than any tabloid headline. Minutes later, the prince's Montecito sanctuary reportedly echoed, with shouts, frantic calls, and the unmistakable clatter of fine china meeting an unyielding marble floor. The public explanation never arrived because none was issued. Palace staff offered refined shrugs, BAFTA volunteers claimed eternal ignorance, and Prince William said nothing at all. Yet behind the scenes, hundreds of whispering mouths filled the silence with one identical story. William, ceremonial BAFTA president since 2010, decided the ceremony would proceed more smoothly without his younger brother. A single phone call, crisp and surgical, convinced organizers to cross the Duke of Sussex off every security sheet and seating chart. It was unprecedented, but it was final. Why wield the axe now? Scroll back through half a decade of royal combustion. In March 2021, Harry and Meghan sat with Oprah beneath California rosemary hedges and launched accusations that landed like mortar shells at Buckingham Palace: institutional neglect, racial insensitivity, and emotional abandonment. The monarchy maintained stiff upper lip silence, but the story detonated worldwide. 8 months later, Netflix cameras captured Sussex revelations in 6 binge-worthy episodes. Early 2023 brought the memoir Spare, whose frostbite anecdotes and family grievances sold millions of copies and torched whatever bridges still stood. Spotify soon cut ties, labeling their podcast output not sustainable, a corporate euphemism for not worth the trouble. William absorbed every blow publicly. Advisors urged the Prince of Wales to focus on homelessness initiatives, climate summits, and early childhood programs. Privately, however, each Sussex bombshell eroded his patience. The heir understood optics, and optics dictated that no gala celebrating British artistry should be hijacked by questions about whether the brothers were speaking. In 2024, William began showing up at BAFTA production meetings rather than merely signing greeting cards. He calmly emphasized a single directive: protect the ceremony's narrative. Let filmmakers be the only headline. Harry's ask had been tentative, almost humble. Sources claim his representatives pitched the appearance as a goodwill gesture. The prince would present a documentary award, mingle with cinematographers, even hint at future collaborations. For a man determined to straddle Hollywood and heritage, BAFTA was the ideal stage. Glamorous yet respectable, relevant yet dripping with British prestige. Unfortunately, William saw a runaway headline waiting to erupt. The veto landed, quiet as snowfall, yet devastating in impact. Word reached Montecito through the industry grapevine, not an embossed envelope. One producer texted Harry's assistant, "Hearing you're off the list. Sorry, mate." Within hours, the Sussex living room resembled a war room. Eyewitnesses later described Harry pacing in manic figure eights, phone glued to his ear as he cycled through lawyers, publicists, and sympathetic cousins. Meghan adopted an icier strategy, canceling wardrobe fittings, silencing stylists, and instructing her crisis PR squad to monitor social media sentiment before the story officially broke. The couture tuxedo that had been steamed and ready now hung motionless, a silent emblem of doors slammed shut. Across the Atlantic, the ceremony unfolded with refined elegance.
2. Strictly come dancing.
William arrived, shook hands with nominees, and flashed a smile that invited no follow-up questions. Cameras captured his poise, social channels captured his brother's absence. The #BAFTA ban began trending before the first award was announced. Tabloids rejoiced, broadcasters pivoted, and new polls landed like fresh snow. YouGov's March numbers placed Harry's favorability at 24%, Meghan's at 20%, record lows. William, by contrast, cruised comfortably in the mid-70s. Sponsors breathed easier. One Champagne House executive admitted, off-record, that the brand had tripled contingency funds in case Sussex-related drama sparked a PR inferno. When none materialized, corks popped with extra vigor. Directors expressed relief that post-show press conferences focused on cinematography rather than family dysfunction. For the first time in years, BAFTA's story was film, not feud. Yet fallout spread far beyond London. Organizers of Wimbledon, Royal Ascot, and the Royal Variety Performance quietly revised guest protocols. Minimal circus became a mantra. Hollywood executives, keen trend watchers, read the tea leaves. Netflix analysts noticed declining completion rates on Sussex content. Spotify's breakup already signaled risk. Studios wondered whether a princely cameo still generated more buzz than backlash. Harry felt the chill in every inbox. Invitations, once plentiful, dwindled to a drizzle. Phone calls from influential agents now contained polite regret. Schedules full, maybe next season. The spare who had rebranded himself a globe-trotting humanitarian suddenly faced closed doors on both sides of the Atlantic.
No, we've got our future king, William.
His American supporters remained, but even they began asking how long the outsider narrative could stay fresh before turning repetitive. He confronted 3 unpalatable options. First, go nuclear. Release an incendiary interview, publish Spare 2, unleash private texts, and wrest back control through shock and awe. That guaranteed immediate attention but risked total institutional exile. No Wimbledon strawberries, no state funerals, not even a balcony cameo once reconciliation beckoned. Second, embrace silence. Withdraw, focus on tangible charitable wins, and let mystery inflate value. Absence sometimes makes cynics nostalgic. Third, pivot hard. Abandon any longing for royal acceptance, craft a wholly American legacy around activism, digital ventures, and measurable impact. Meghan reportedly favored door 3. Aides say she argued the family would never fully forgive. Better to lean into advocacy and entrepreneurship. Harry vacillated. Rage competed with regret. Late-night calls to former army mates swung between gallows humor and raw introspection. A gardener claimed the prince attacked invasive ivy with startling ferocity, pruning until moonlight vanished behind bare branches. Meanwhile, the press ran riot. Front pages screamed, "William slams palace gate on wayward brother," while comment sections devolved into #Team Harry and #Team William slugfests. Royal historians split hairs on television panels. Some hailed the ban as overdue accountability for a prince monetizing grievance. Others framed it as heartless exile of a traumatized veteran. Amid the noise, the brothers maintained opposite strategies. William silent and steady, Harry unpredictable, occasionally incandescent.
And what's the point in thinking about someone that you've lost and you're never going to get back again? And I just decided not to talk about it. But
yeah, was anybody talking about it around?
No one was talking about it.
King Charles occupied an uneasy middle ground. Recovering from health challenges, he adopted a keep-the-peace stance, refusing to override William's judgment but not gloating either. Courtiers whispered that the monarch valued institutional stability above personal reconciliation, at least until newspaper ink cooled. For Charles, forcing William to swallow a public reunion risked undermining both sons.
A lot of control and ability in my father's hands. Ultimately, this whole thing could be resolved through him.
Institutionally, BAFTA's gamble paid immediate dividends. Viewership climbed, critics praised a ceremony free of side plot dramatics, and sponsorship renewals arrived ahead of schedule. Yet some insiders wondered if the victory would age poorly. What if public sentiment swung back toward Harry? What if William's hardline later appeared vindictive? Organizations remember wrong turns. Cultural moods shift like clouds over Hyde Park. Sensitive to tides, Harry drafted a tentative olive branch email in April. No lawyers, no advisors, just one brother reaching to another. The message, insiders claim, was brief. Acknowledgement of pain, hope for better, promise of media restraint. Whether William read the email, no one knows. His reply never came. Silence can be negotiation or refusal, and in this case, it felt like both. Left to interpret the void, Harry wrestled with identity. He had once imagined himself a modern Diana, compassionate disruptor, free from outdated rules, but beloved by crowds. BAFTA revealed a harsher calculus. Prestige relies on shared consent from gatekeepers. Without their nod, a prince is merely another celebrity competing in a crowded marketplace. So the Sussex household shifted strategy. Meghan's team accelerated a lifestyle technology venture blending ethical commerce with civic engagement. Harry recommitted to Invictus and explored partnerships with veteran support startups. Polling nudged upward, slightly. Podcasts speculated about Sussex 2.0, a brand less obsessed with royal reckoning, more focused on measurable results.
Partner is Gretchen Rubin Media, and they generally pay between $25 to $50 per 1,000 download.
Still, the BAFTA ban lingered like a phantom limb. Every time an awards season press release circulated, reporters asked whether Harry might attend. Every time William appeared at a charity party gala, cameras scanned for a brother not present. The absence became a presence, an invisible sash draped across every red carpet. Some predicted a thaw, perhaps photos at a cousin's wedding, tentative smiles bridging decades of hurt. Others believed the velvet rope was permanent. Which outcome prevails may depend less on palaces and more on patience.
And just very quickly, is there any sense that William and Harry talk to each other again?
There's no sense at all.
No.
No. At the moment, again, it would have not made any better by that last BBC interview that he did.
If Harry resists the urge for another explosive reveal and lets deeds speak, perception could soften. Generous fundraising totals, quiet hospital visits, and low-key mentoring might rebrand him as a workhorse stripped of royal glamour but rich in substance. If he cracks under provocation and reignites hostilities, the BAFTA ban will look prophetic, a prescient boundary set before the next detonation. For now, the world watches, weary yet fascinated. BAFTA's carpet is rolled and stored, camera rigs stand idle, and glittering gowns sleep in garment bags. But palace drama remains evergreen. Somewhere in California, a duke decides daily how loudly to speak. Somewhere in London, a prince calibrates each gesture with an eye on legacy. Their mother once said the crown's greatest battle is for hearts. In 2025, that contest is fought not with lances or speeches, but with phone calls unanswered and invitations withheld. Perhaps for the coronation of a new cultural mood, will Harry finally cross the carpet with humility, or will William keep the rope held high? Audiences wait, popcorn poised, because no matter how many doors close, the allure of reopened gates never fades. Somewhere, a BAFTA ticket bearing Harry's name remains buried in a forgotten draft. Proof that stories can always be edited, even rewritten, if both authors decide to pick up the pen again.